How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lo4f, and today I'm just going to do a bit of a simple chilled mission. It's called Knee Deep. I've got to go and get like a Zix, little, I don't know, I'll call it the off-road snail, I can't remember its name, and take it somewhere. Yeah, I'd like to test out this Kolob and just see, like, is it still relevant, or is this Zix, this new one, completely replaced it? The snorkels on the Zix sit high, which is pretty nice. This has also got the raisable suspension. I'd still say the Zix has got a bit more ground clearance. What I do like about this Kolob, though, as you can see, I can pack a loaf on the back even without a sideboard or flatbed. I've still got the saddle high on there. So yeah, I quite like that, which is pretty cool. I can also pack one on the roof, but I know the route I've got to take is a bit iffy. To be fair, the loaf on the roof actually can help in certain situations. I already know because I've already done this mission near enough to the end and then I restarted it. So I've got to drive down to there. Again, the Zix isn't there at the minute. And then there's this little narrow path kind of cutting all through the trees. I was quite interested to see sort of what that's like. That's where the Zix is when I got it, like, literally pretty much there, and then was like, nope, I'm not happy with the footage. So I'll restart it. So yeah, we'll set off and we'll see how the Zix does. Sorry, the Kolob, keep calling it the Zix. That was a little glitch there, apologies for that. I don't think it gets me too bad with them, but there's usually one, it can't help itself. And yeah, I suppose, like, I mean, this Kolob and that Zix, they're pretty similar in a lot of ways. They've both got 8 wheels, diffs always on, blah blah blah. They're both pretty fat chunky trucks, they've both not got chain tyres. This one, it's hard to say because I believe the coding of the tyres is just different, so I think the Zix has advantages on various things like the Death Snow and Death Mud. I do kind of prefer the tyres on this though, in that, like, they look sort of fatter and chunkier and all the rest of it. But again, chained would be nice. But tyres like this are pretty good in the snow. And all going down there, I mean, I've been in high gear, I believe, for all of it. And this section here is like, this is where it tips a lot. I came through here, I think, in one of the live streams with the Zix. I've been down here a couple of times. I did this mission early, like I said, with another loaf on the roof. And where the loaf on the roof comes in handy is as you tip here, the loaf on the roof leans on that tree quicker, which stops you falling. You can see my red loaf is catching that tree. I would possibly tip now, not necessarily, because this is pretty good at not tipping, but that loaf at the back actually, like, squares off the back of the vehicle, so again, when I tip, like, I can lean up against the tree before the Kolob just tips. Otherwise, it's just the back of the Kolob will just essentially rotate 90 degrees by the time it sort of pushes up against the tree. Got a little bit caught here with the front. I think it's possibly these bloody super branch things on these trees. They are a little bit OP. It'd be pretty cool if you could, like, I quite like the fact that there's resistance to them, but the amount of resistance is insane. Like, it stops, yeah, a Kolob dead and all sorts. It'd be quite cool if there was resistance, but then they broke off after a certain point. I think that'd be, yeah, pretty good and a little bit more accurate. I mean, a branch that size, you'd just snap it off for fun, especially in something like this. So we made it that far. What I could have done as well there, by the way, and I did actually do when I took both loaves and this Kolob through there, was lower the raised suspension, then raise it back up now. Long story short, I did try a couple of times to go down to the right, but the Kolob just kept stubbing its nose in, and it was unpacking my load. Even though I wasn't rolling, it was kind of annoying me. So, but then I learned if I sort of jump off, again, this thing's very planted, the Kolob. Again, I keep calling it Zix. Yeah, this has got, like, ridiculously good rolling characteristics, really. It's probably top 5 in the game easy. Again, the long nose Kolob beats this one. Like, the long nose Kolob is practically unrollable. But this one has the diffs always on. So if I brought the other long nose Zix, I'd basically be doing a lot of wheel spinning now, or spending my life in the low range so I can activate the diffs. And that's the only place that sort of, yeah, it's just a bit slower sort of gameplay, I suppose. Again, for people that don't mind that as much, it's sort of makes no odds. The long-nosed Kolob's a decent vehicle. The other nice thing though about this, not being the long-nosed Kolob, it's yeah, again, the roof length is just plenty that you can fit a loaf on there. This section here as well, it gets pretty snowy here. The reason I've not gone more, say, to the left as we're looking and at the right as I'm looking now, is the terrain, like the deformable terrain, I reckon, is different depths. So if you imagine, like, the hard terrain under all that, sort of, it was deeper where I am and it gets shallower as you go up the hill. So long story short, the stuff you're actually driving on, you end up at an even steeper angle, and you can tip there because it is, like, you get not far off 90 degrees anyway. Started cutting over this way and I was like, oh no, actually I could go straight ahead, but it looks like there's a bit of a big sort of load of rocks I've got to jump off anyway, and it's more that they look uneven, so I was like, okay, abort mission. Try through here, which again I did a bit earlier, so I already know it was sort of working pretty well. Yeah, again, I was going to do like either a review video or a bit of a longer mission, but I couldn't get sleep yesterday, so I was awake all night, and then I kind of, yeah, for about an hour or so I pretty much fell asleep on the sofa, and I just feel really tired, so I didn't really want to get doing like a massive long video with loads of editing, so I just thought I'll go for a bit more of a chilled mission. Ironically though, just because I was messing around really, it wasn't like the Zix and the Lo4f, the Kolob and the Lo4f got the Zix pretty much all the way there. I don't know, I wasn't really happy with the footage because I was just more messing around in the end. It wasn't very clean footage, and then I was like, well, it's going to be a lot of editing, which I don't strictly mind that, I like it to be a more fluent, clean video overall, so I was like, do you know what? I'll just restart it. Like, a lot of what's happening, the Lo4f on top just kept unpacking when it didn't need to. I wasn't tipping or anything, and it was like, yeah, I just wasn't too impressed. Like I said, got to that square, just had to reset it. So normally the Zix is there. That trailer behind is normally lined up with this Zix, even though they're not related. It's a separate mission. Yeah, I mean, long story short, this is how the trailer got tipped the first time. This is now attempt number 2. Going pretty well if you ask me. Oh yeah, all the ice I just drove over, it's pretty nice. It's fair ice. It's good. It's good, well balanced ice. You can actually drive through it in a bloody hell Kolob, which is pretty nice. I was wondering there, I was like, why is that Zix gone all the way down the side of my vehicle when I'm winched to it from the back? Yeah, long story short, the game doesn't do too well with the winch logic, so it decided to stick a winch from the middle of my Zix, bloody Kolob, to that Zix. We'll just leave that trailer, like, nothing to do with me. Oh yes, got the Class 1 licence now. And yeah, a little bit more of the fair ice going on. And essentially, just going down here, we're going to go up like this sort of little tight, windy, narrow path through the tree. You can't even barely see it as a road, unless you're on certain angles, because it's kind of hidden between all the trees anyway. And again, pretty fair ice. It's nice. It's going well. Just realised that Zix is out of fuel. To be fair, I think it'd make very little to no difference. Like, this Kolob ain't really going to feel whether it's towing that Zix or not. But I believe there's probably a slight in-game advantage again with like just the way it works. If I put a bit of fuel in that and I can now turn the engine on, I just think you get some kind of automatic like reduction in the drag weight or whatever you're towing. For the most part though, I would have said yeah, the Kolob won't really feel it, but I've got a goddamn horsepower vehicle with me. He's got plenty of fuel to share, so why not spread the wealth. It's funny, it's random. I was just when I said about Class 1, like over here, like when you get your car license, I can't even remember what it's like, class or whatever it's called. But for HGVs and everything, you got your Class 2, which is like your big rigid trucks, and then your Class 1, which is articulated trucks. But then you've also got obviously like a motorbike license and stuff. And I remember me dad telling me years ago that a mate of his, this is pretty bad. Yeah, this is by the way the little weird channel going through the mountains, but yeah, anyway, it's my dad's mate, he had a motorbike license, and every 10 years or whatever you have to send your license in to get it renewed. And so he sent his license in just with like an updated photo and that pretty much. Sent that in, and when they sent him his license back, so he obviously got like a car license, etc. I believe as well, it's my stepdad, he's like a HGV mechanic and everything, so I assume this guy had a HGV and everything. But when they sent him his license back, they'd missed the motorbike bit off it. Is now his license just said he hasn't got a motorbike license, and the pretty crazy thing was, he then rang them up and sort of said, oh, you've missed off the motorbike thing, and they have no record of what license you've got, so they were just like, well, tough. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I've had my motorbike license for like 30 years, I've got 20 years of insurance and all that you've insured me, and you know, just all sorts. It's like he's clearly had a license because he was getting insured every year, and you have to show a license to the insurance company, etc. And that was it. They just said, oh, we've got no record of it, so you'll have to redo your motorbike license. It's like, how ruthless is that? You see why people end up going mental. And then I believe it was the same guy as well. Like, it's pretty ruthless as well. He's got quite a few motorbikes and he likes them. And outside his house, he hasn't got like a curb that drops down where a car could drive up, which you think is more of a fuck up of like the council and that really than him. But some traffic warden or copper sat there, and when he had to bump his bike up the curb, go over a pedestrian footpath or whatever, and then into his house, and they did him for taking his bike on a pedestrian footpath as well. Again, it's like they wonder why people go insane. Right, little Hitlers. Yeah, I don't know why that just made me think of that. But it's pretty bad. But like, basically, long story short, he was saying like photocopy your license and everything, because if he had all like photocopies and proof and everything of his license, but he literally sent his old driving license in, and that was the only thing that he owned that said he had a motorbike license, and apparently they don't keep records of it, which is just, yeah, insane. But sounds like the typical slack nature of anything government related. But yeah, it's pretty bad. At least it was only a motorbike license. Imagine if they took like, yeah, it's class 1 like HGV license, you'd have to pay quite a bit of money just to redo the test really on that. Motorbike license probably like, you know, an hour and 30 quid or something, probably not that bad. Yeah, overall, by the way, I know I've been sort of rambling on, but yeah, this sort of driving I was enjoying a lot. That's why I wasn't really that bothered about restarting the mission. This is way more fun and enjoyable than just Death Snow and Death Ice. Like, this is... There was certain tricky sections, like there's bits, potholes like that, but there was bits where if you hit it wrong, one side of your tyres will fall in, and obviously one side won't, and then you tip a lot, and it's like, you could eventually get out with winches or whatever, but it was close. Like, again, this thing's pretty bloody good at not rolling. But yeah, at least this kept me sort of engaged. I had to pay attention to what I'm doing, what line I'm taking, trying to sort of weave through the branches, all sorts. So I actually quite liked it in the end for just a pretty little simple mission. And again, because I had already like basically drove this a few hours earlier, I kind of by then knew, and that's partly why I just wanted to restart it, because then it could just make it, yeah, just a lot cleaner than 40 edits going through it and me just constantly explaining like, well, I cut this bit out because this happened and so on. Nothing exciting particularly happened, but yeah. This bit, I think this is pretty much where I decided to just restart the whole mission, and it was only because about now, when I did it last time, the loaf on my roof just unpacked, and it was like, what? I'm not even like close to tipping. Oh well, it's not my Zix. Don't have to worry about that one. And to be honest, now I hadn't officially drove any of this little bit now. I was like, oh, this leans a bit more. You see what I mean though? It's like a lot of bits that sort of catch you out. You look around at the right angle, you'd see that's a very awkward ledge, but because it's all snowed over and everything, you sort of quite easily miss it. And then at this point, well, no, we tipped to the point where basically now I'm leaning sideways. If that rock wasn't next to me, the loaf is also helping a bit because he's now leaning on the rock, and the back of the Zix is kind of pushing into him a little bit. But yeah, if that rock wasn't there to the left of me, I would have officially tipped now. Tried a bit of reversing, jiggling the steering and all the rest of it, but no. You see, this is why you get yourself a goddamn horse of a vehicle, because well, the only other choice I'd have now is, I suppose, recover the Zix or drive something from the garage anyway to here. But good job, got ourselves a loaf. Just, I only did a little edit there because I think like the bumpers got hooked on each other on the Zix and the loaf, so I just sat there for like 10 or 15 seconds like, what the hell are you doing? There's no winch points in front. It's not exactly rapid through the old Super Snow, but to be fair, neither are the trucks really, so considering this thing's like a quarter of the size, still doing pretty well. Right, get a little boost. I'm basically wedging it behind this rock. That was my plan. Seemed like a good plan. See, the loaf don't tip. So I can reach the Kolob with my winch. I should have just gone for it there, because the only reason I wanted to drive the Zix, because if I winched from the Lo4f, the Zix was automatically steering towards my Lo4f, and I want it to steer the other way. So I switched to the Zix to try and do it, to like winch to the Lo4f, and there you go. Like, it's doing that annoying thing again where it's within reach, but it just won't let you connect it. And this proves conclusively that the Lo4f has got better length. I mean, that's definitely what she said. We all knew it. He's hung like a loaf horse. Yeah, he can still reach the Zix from here. So now I thought, right, I'll try and scoot myself a bit nearer to that rock, because that last like meter or whatever might I might be able to reach with these Zix then. But just while he's in the middle of trying to help not embarrass the Kolob, he accidentally rescued it anyway. Then I switched to the Zix. The Kolob very quickly flew a winch out to grab onto the Lo4f, and now we're good. Just looking around in amazement at what a goddamn professional my Lo4f is. We're good to go. And apart from the little 10 seconds or whatever getting hooked on the Zix at the back, that was basically unedited, so it was like 2 minutes or something, so again, saved me plenty of time. Right now, the little toot, like, see you later, Lo4f, I appreciate the help, but then I was like, oh well, can't leave goddamn professional behind, even though we are practically at the mission's end, and all I was going to do afterwards is recover them both to the garage, so it wouldn't bother me in that situation, just leaving the Lo4f there to chill for a minute. See though, he's got plenty of reach, and soon hoover his way out of there. Now originally I was going to try and load him on, like, obviously facing forwards again. Got him bumped up there, but it was kind of just the way it's going on such a hill. Skidded me over, I was like, hang on a minute. Change to my Kolob. See again, you can just go down pack trucks. And he packs sideways, what a goddamn beast. Like, not only did he just save my bacon, but I've now just realised I've basically doubled my Lo4f carrying capacity on the back. Well, at least 33% more, because again I can get one on the roof. In fact, maybe, I don't know, I might be able to squeeze 2 on the roof. Have to look into it, and then I could double stack them. I could get, like, I don't know, we're going to have to try this. A whole herd of Lo4fs on this. So, stick a winch on this little Zix again, and we're off. And that's pretty much all the the rough section, but again, I did enjoy that drive. And even that little bit at the end. Like, I like doing rescues, it's just nice when the, I don't know, the parameters and mechanics that I've been promised are there for me to use. So if my Zix can reach the Lo4f, the winch should 100% of the time reach the Lo4f, not just keep doing that annoying connected, but it's not. But other than that, it was, yeah, like, that's actually, like, pretty enjoyable little night of driving, messing around on that. And the Zix did pretty well. Again, sorry, the Kolob. I reckon the Zix 605R would have done pretty well as well, but this certainly, the point I kind of wanted to test is, I don't think the Zix has fully replaced the Kolob or anything. Like, I still think it's relevant and a decent machine even on these maps. So we get it there. What was the money, like 3.5 grand or something? Like, really? Getting even tighter on this game. I even tried there, check, like, can I change truck, because it didn't make the Zix disappear, but it wouldn't let me change to it. So then my Lo4f was like, well, I'll have my fuel back. And good day to you, sir. And after a very long, difficult think, I decided to steal the Zix. Lo4f's now like, go, 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 go. So he's keeping an eye out for the farmer. And the Lo4f, he's done this before. He used to steal trailers from the army base in White Valley, so he knows what he's doing. So even parking sideways, basically blocking the identity of the Zix. The Kolob. One day I'll say it right. Get back, right, ahoy. What we've got. We'll sell some pirate booty, and you wonder, like, what can the Lo4f do with the Zix? Make it his little Zix bitch is what he does. Stick a little zombie winch on it. Like, get it up, Zix. Jab them little cowboy boots into its side. Make it splat into a trailer, albeit pretty slowly. Stick her in reverse. See? My Lo4f doesn't want to waste his own tyre tread. Right, excuse me, lads. If you don't mind, coming through. Need to park up my Zix. Oh, this one is a Zix, thank God for that. I did get it right once. You see? It's just always a good time with a goddamn professional. So yeah, I mean, you only get 3 grand for that mission. I still can't switch to the 6, but I'm keeping it. It's mine. It's in my garage now. It's my loaf's. That farmer wants to try and take it back off my loaf. Probably won't go well. There we go. It's looking pretty nicely parked. With the horn, a little honk. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Oh yes. I think we just scored a goal, boys. It was pretty nice. And then, just as I was messing around, I ended up loading the game back up and I had another chance to reverse. So I honked the horn again. We got 1 box. We got a double. And then, out of nowhere, bang, we got a triple. You see? The loaf, he just keeps making amazing things happen. But anyway, that's about it for today though. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Thanks for our Patreon members. Get yourself a loaf because he's a beast. And I'll be back soon. 69. Giggly.